What's going on, bourbon friends? Hey, so I've actually got a couple emails recently where people reached out and said, hey, Judge, I'm new to the whiskey world. I haven't even started a collection. I just want to kind of get into it a little bit. And before I go to bars and, start hanging out with my friends who are real big whiskey guys and gals and so forth, I need to know, what can I order at the bar that's, a good price point, but also good whiskey, and just tell me a little bit more about it. So I'm going to say, if you've obviously watched the channel before, you're someone who's really experienced, this episode may not be for you because we're going to kind of go back to the basics. Again, we're trying to help out all our friends who are new to the whiskey world and are really starting to kind of get into whiskey, not even from a collection standpoint, but just to know what they should order when they get to the bar and what do the different things mean. Cool? All right. So I'm going to go ahead and give 5 great whiskeys that, if you do happen a chance to go to the bar, these are 5 that I think you should definitely order. They should be, I think by most means, they should be available at the bar as well, and at a very reasonable price point as well. Cool? All right. And the way I rock and roll, I always end with an asterisk because might as well. All right. Let's go ahead and start off. So the first whiskey, I think when you're going to the bar, you want to try something that will definitely be there and is not going to break the bank at all. You have to start off with, in my opinion, Maker's Mark. Maker's Mark is a fantastic bourbon. Here's the reason why. So bourbon, as you may or may not know, the primary ingredient in the mash bill is corn. But this is a wheated bourbon, which means that the secondary ingredient, primary ingredient in the mash bill after corn is wheat. So a little bit different than other bourbons that are out there. But wheat is the second primary ingredient in the mash bill for Maker's Mark. That's kind of like what they're known for. So Maker's Mark is typically a sweeter bourbon or a sweeter whiskey, if you will, but a fantastic whiskey by itself. It should not set you back more than, gosh, I don't know, $8 or $9, $10, depending on what kind of bar you're at, but not a lot at all. And it's a fantastic bourbon from a proof standpoint. It's not going to knock you out as well because it's only 94 proof. So get a nice pour of this, try it for yourself. Absolutely an amazing bottle, and one that you might even like so much that after you try it at the bar, you might even want to start your collection with this bottle as well as some of the others. Cool? All right, so that's the first one, Maker's Mark 46, a wheated bourbon. Second one to try when you're going to the bar, you're like, all right, I tried Maker's, what else is out there? To me, I think this is absolutely a fantastic whiskey. It's not a bourbon, but it's a rye. So just like bourbon, very similar in a lot of ways. But rye is a primary ingredient in the mash bill. You can try this version. You can try another brand like a Knob Creek. But I think if you find Elijah Craig, so Elijah Craig, this is their small batch rye coming in at 94 proof. Absolutely an amazing rye whiskey. Again, this one also, if you see it at a bar, shouldn't set you back more than $7, $8, honestly, for a pour, $9. Both of these are like $30, $32 bottles for the full bottle. So if you do like them both, hell, easily you can find them just as easy as you saw them in the bar. And they won't set you back more than like, $30, $35 for each bottle. Again, if you don't see Elijah Craig rye, you can also even find probably even like a Knob Creek rye, which also around the same price point as well. All right, so that's the rye whiskey. Let's get back to bourbon, where we started at. So now this whiskey, I think, gosh, it's hard not to find this at a bar because it is just such a staple. You can find it at every bar. I mean, hell, even Applebee's sells this this bourbon. None other than Woodford Reserve. So this is a standard Woodford Reserve. Absolutely an amazing bottle coming from a company called Brown-Forman. Fantastic. When you find this at a bar, hands down, it's going to be at a normal price. This bottle itself is, gosh, not even probably like $29, $28, maybe 30 at the max. But it's a fantastic bottle to try at the bar. Also one that if you do try at a bar and you like it, you enjoy it, you can easily find it at any and every single liquor store out there. All right, that's Woodford Reserve coming in the 3 spot. Real quick, couple of quick favors. Number 1, hit the like button. Number 2, drop me a comment. And last but not least, please make sure you also subscribe to the channel, hit the button, and also hit the bell so you get notification each and every time I release new content. Cool? All right. Let's move on to number 4. So now that you've tried a couple of different versions of bourbon, whiskey as well as rye whiskey, starting to move up from a proof standpoint because now you're getting acclimated and you really want to have a chance to try something slightly higher from a proof standpoint, but still affordable, great, and if you like it, you can find it easily at any liquor store. I think one of the best whiskeys out there, dollar for dollar, because it's one of the cheaper ones as well. Wild Turkey 101. So only 101 proof. This is absolutely an amazing, and I mean an amazing bottle. Again, this one's like a $28, $30 bottle. So if you like it in a bar, you can probably get it for $30, max $30 at any liquor store. Typically sold at the majority of all liquor stores, so there's no having to go to multiple stores. You can find this bad boy. Very simple, very easy. And honestly, this is one of the best quality whiskeys out there, hands down. All right, before I get to the number 5 spot and the asterisk, I need a little sip. It's been a long day. Cheers, my friends. Woo! I poured a little bit of Wild Turkey myself before this. All right, coming in the 5th spot. So now you've had Wild Turkey 101. You're like, all right, Judge, I can hang with it. I can hold my own as it relates like to the proof standpoint and to the heat. You're like, I want something that's, essentially cask strength or a higher proof point as a whole. What's out there that's in the same family, same category, but a little bit higher from a proof standpoint? None other than you can find also, if you like it, at almost every liquor store. Old Grandad 114. Absolutely an amazing bottle. Old Grandad 114, obviously coming in at 114 proof. Fantastic whiskey. If you like Wild Turkey 101 and you're really ready for something that's a little bit stronger, you will love Old Grandad 114. Same family, very similar from a palate standpoint, just a little bit more of a punch because it is at 114 proof. But then again, the cool thing about this bottle is that if you try it at a bar, most bars will have it, but even better, when you buy it, it's still like in that $30, $35 range, kind of depending where you live. And not a lot of like looking around, maybe 1, maybe 2 stores, but you should easily find Old Grandad 114. Cool? All right. It is time for our asterisk. So on our channel, I always do a little asterisk to kind of change it up a little bit. And when I give an asterisk, there's always a reason why. So this bottle is, I'm putting it in its own category. These are the 5 that you should definitely try when you get to a bar, probably in order like the Makers and the Woodford first because they're lower proof points, and then start to get into like the either the rye or like the Wild Turkey or the Old Grandad. All right. So if you're like many of us, you start out typically either as like maybe like a big wine drinker, or you love like rum or other spirits, but then you're starting to make the transition to whiskey. This day and age, a lot of whiskey out there, not these core products, but a lot of whiskey out there is finished in a secondary barrel. So you got the first barrel, which of course is like your traditional brand new American oak barrel. But then the second barrel will be a bourbon or rye finished like in a sherry, a Merlot, a Chardonnay, or even like a rum cask finish. This company puts out pretty much only that for the most part. I mean, they do have their standard bourbon or rye, but the majority of what they put out there is whiskey finished in a secondary barrel. So if you see this in a bar and you're like, I want something that's slightly different than a standard bourbon or rye, I wanted something finished in like a secondary barrel, like a wine finish, a sherry finish. None other than my good friends over at Starlight. Starlight Distillery. They do a fantastic job of their bourbons and their ryes, and they use every type of wine barrel out there, as well as even like rum as well, even honey barrels. So if you're looking for a whiskey that's finished as a secondary barrel and something different, these guys is the bottle to look for. Look for this bottle at your local bar. Hopefully you'll find it. Starlight is, the cool thing about it is that if you find it, you try it at a bar, it's only going to set you back. Most of their secondary finished bourbons and ryes are typically like 65, 70 bucks. They're not setting you back too much more than these, so just a little bit more, but fantastic whiskey at the same time. Hey, hopefully these 5 plus the asterisk are some great recommendations. Hopefully you enjoyed it, Until the next time, my friends, peace, cheers, and salute. Take care, everyone. See ya.